This is the Overdue Homework Podcast.
Welcome to the show. That's Trav. I'm Drew.
And I'm Trav.
This is the Overdue Homework Podcast, and as always, we are here to give you our opinions on 80s and 90s media. Please contact us at podcast@overduehomework.com. Trav, how are you doing?
Really good, Drew.
Good.
Not a lot different going on. I am much further in Demon Slayer, though.
Nice.
So I feel like talking about DBZ, I have to let people know that you need to watch Demon Slayer. If you like DBZ, you will like Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer. I have not even watched a single episode of it. You said it was on Netflix, correct?
It is on Netflix.
And we currently do not have Netflix, which is like sacrilege, because that's like the one that you like almost always keep, right?
Yep.
But we ditched Netflix. We got Apple TV Plus because we wanted to watch the second season of Severance.
Sure.
So 2 kids and
Makes
all,
sense.
You know, I can't be paying for every streaming service under the sun.
Obviously.
Got to nix one for the other. Although I do have to say the Disney, Hulu, and HBO Max like combo platter. You pay
$30 for no ads.
We don't do no ads.
Oh.
I'm too cheap for no ads.
I can't do the ads.
I gotta do ads. Even Evelyn's like, why are there commercials? I'm like, I'm sorry, kid. I'm sorry.
Welcome to my life.
Welcome. We can't afford it.
Yep.
But I don't want commercials. I'm like, well, then you need to pick another streaming service that we have to get rid of then. But I don't want to. Well, commercials it is. Commercials it is.
Yeah, we haven't got that bundle yet, but we have discussed it multiple times.
That bundle is worth it for Max alone because you can watch all of the Food Network stuff on Max.
Oh, nice.
Without having to get Discovery Plus.
Nice.
So we love ourselves some mindless Food Network stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Tournament of Champions,
Yeah.
which is absolutely amazing. And then, of course, what was the other one? The 24 and 24. Have you ever seen that one where they make 24 services in 24 hours and it's a big competition and you get eliminated after each service and stuff?
Nice.
It's good. I recommend it. It's a good one.
How are you doing, Drew?
Pardon my rambling. I'm doing really good. Summer's in full swing. The kids are very busy. I'm very busy. It's just how it is when you're a dad, and I absolutely love it. It's pretty fun stuff. It's great to see Evelyn excelling at things that she's never tried before, seeing her grow up and learning new things and meeting new people and all this stuff. So it's really, really great. Cameron's 2.5, and he's really kind of coming into his own with being able to be outside without having to constantly be like, don't kill yourself. Don't kill yourself. Don't kill yourself. So it's pretty nice that that's finally getting to be that at the fact where our backyard is fenced in, so now we can just have that because we have a little setup in the garage with a carpet and all types of stuff, so I can go out there and hang out with the kids and a little TV action out there too.
Nice.
Because I love me some TV. It's just the way she be.
Say what?
And we can leave the door from the garage to the backyard open now, and he can just go and do his thing and kind of wander around back there, and he might eat some dirt, but if that's the worst, that's the worst that's going to happen. That's the worst that's going to happen.
It's got to be done. Build that immune system.
That's right. That is right. All right, Trav, with that out of the way, we have no articles from anything, so go back to our previous DBZ episodes, and if you go back just one DBZ episode, do you remember I said I was going to link all the other DBZ episodes in that episode?
I do remember
I did it.
You did it?
I did it.
Boom.
So you go back one episode and you can find every episode that we've ever done with Dragon Ball Z, and you can get all the cool stuff that you want from DBZ, and you can download our podcast again multiple times, pump up our numbers.
Do it.
Do it. Do it.
I dare you. And then email us.
I dare you. So, of course, we are doing DBZ Season 2, episodes 40 through 45. It was really fun. I enjoyed these episodes very much so. I love the fact that the beginning of the seasons are such like slice of life episodes.
Yeah.
It's very little
It's
about.
like a side movie.
Yes.
You can go, like a non-canon. Is this really a part of the story? But it is.
It's much less about the fighting. I love the fighting. That's what you watch DBZ for, or the epic matches and battles and people getting blown up and all that stuff. But it's really cool to have that bit of fan service where everybody's doing other stuff and you get to see other costumes and all that stuff.
And as epic as every saga is, I think everyone can agree, like, Frieza and Namek saga is, like, the most memorable. Isn't that when everybody was biking home to see DBZ and all that?
Yes, I would say for me, it's between that saga and the Cell saga.
Sure.
I really love the Cell saga. I think that might be number one for me. Majin Buu saga, at the end, it gets a little bit much with all his transformations with Kid Buu and all that stuff. But it's not bad. I still like it. I still really like it.
But definitely this, like, iconic trio of Bulma, Krillin, and Gohan is awesome.
It reminds me of Dragon Ball, because that's how with Dragon Ball it was Krillin, Goku, and Bulma, like as the trio, and now Gohan is just kind of supplemented Goku, because Goku's in the hospital the whole time. All right, so episode 40 is called Held Captive, and we're back with season 2, and we're back in the reflective spaceship with all the children, and a mostly nude Bulma still. Oh yeah, Krillin and Gohan are there too. Bulma, she's tied up, and those kids do not trust Krillin or Gohan, not one bit. They don't want to hear any bogus explanations as to why they are there. Krillin and Gohan, they're not going to hurt anyone. We know who they are. The kids don't know who they are. But faced with tons of guns, they power up to fight some kids.
Yep, why not?
Fight some kids. But just then, they get saved by an asteroid field, and pure chaos ensues. We got asteroids hitting the ship. We got fires and shit. Turns out, this is a very good opportunity for Bulma to free Bulma.
Yep.
That's great. That will take it. Back on Earth, and Goku is recuperating from his fight with Vegeta, and he's terrified of needles. I mean, this is a thing that is revisited in the series multiple times.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny every time, and Chi-Chi's just like, what a little baby screaming and crying over a tiny needle.
Yeah.
Chi-Chi thinks Goku is being a total pussy.
Kind of.
She's like, I'm out.
Later.
So back on that spaceship, shit is still going down, but Bulma, she wants to hit the road. But you know Krillin and Gohan, they can't just leave them there like this.
Yeah.
But if they don't get out, they're all going to be dead. I mean, weigh it left and right here. I mean, save the kids or die.
Right.
Or maybe save the kids and don't die.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll go for the heroic option.
Undeterred, Gohan and Krillin save some kids from a falling piece of metal out of the ceiling.
Yep.
And then the ship just bursts into flames. Shit is really going down. Krillin and Gohan, they go to help. And Bulma heads up to the bridge and commandeers the ship.
Yep.
All those kids, for how aggressive they were being, are just like, yeah, sure, go ahead, take over our ship. Go ahead. She's a pilot, so she knows what to do, but she can't really find, like, the right controls, which is kind of interesting. She has a hard time with that. Intuitively, she's very good at, like, working machines, flying stuff, but she doesn't have, like, it's just, like, her second nature. She doesn't have, like, formal education on how to do this stuff, it seems like.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know what this shit is, but I can work it.
I can figure it out.
I can work it. So Bulma does her thing and flies right through that asteroid field, controlling it with
the keyboard. And the little boys were like, oh my God.
She's typing it. She's typing 100 words a minute.
Yeah, what is she typing? Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, up, down, down, down. I don't know what's happening, but it works. She dodges every last asteroid.
All the while, Krillin and Gohan, they save the kids again, this time using an energy blast to stop the fire.
To stop the fire.
Sure.
I don't know about that one.
I've heard of, like, in the Old West, when there was, like, a forest fire, use some TNT to, like, blow up the fire to, like, get rid of all the oxygen. So,
yeah,
I mean...
Sure.
Maybe.
I mean, I guess.
Let's go with
maybe in
it.
space. I like how he can control the blast enough, since he was basically a little pussy in the last saga for most of it.
Yeah.
To where he doesn't shoot out the ship.
Right.
Like, he puts this fire out perfect. Perfect amount of energy. Put out that fire. Don't damage the ship.
Not one bit.
Sure. Okay.
Sure, why
Whatever.
not? Krillin and Gohan, they saved everyone from the fire. The kids still don't trust them.
No.
Okay.
Fuck these guys. They might be working for Frieza. This is all big ploy. Okay.
They still think they might be working for Frieza. When in fact, Krillin, Gohan, and Bulma do not know who Frieza is.
They got no clue.
They don't. They're like, who's this Frieza?
Who the hell?
I don't know. And the kids think that Krillin and Gohan are Bulma's brothers, and Krillin seems a little offended at that. Is like, no. No. And then in comes a boy named Session. That's an interesting name for that kid, but that's his name. He's like, why would they help us if they worked for Frieza? I mean, that's a good point. Why
are you the first one to acknowledge that?
We get a quick flashback, and all the kids' parents, they're just dying.
Yep. Poor kids.
And then finally, the kids think that they can trust them. Krillin wants to know if Frieza and his cronies were Saiyans. They did not have tails, so they were not Saiyans. Even though that's not necessarily true.
No.
But okay. Those kids' planet was destroyed, and most everyone was killed. Their parents covered for them long enough for them to escape. Their saving grace was the mirrored exterior on their spaceship. Sure, I mean... What foresight? We're going to make this spaceship. It's going to be mirrored, and we're going to make it so you can hide in space.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Like, what's the impetus of developing a mirrored spaceship? Why would you develop a mirrored spaceship? Is there a reason to hide in space? That's the only reason, right?
That's the only reason.
There's
the only threats
reason.
out there. You do not know what they are.
I like it. Have you ever heard of the dark forest theory of why we haven't found any aliens? So the idea is once you become advanced enough as a civilization, it's much better to like hide instead of like projecting out all your stuff and saying, hey, we're over here.
Right.
Because if there is a alien species or race or whatever that is out there and is able to travel across vast distances of space, they're probably coming to kill you and steal your stuff.
Yeah.
So it's better to stay quiet and hide.
Right.
It's interesting.
Sure.
Interestingly enough. So the kids, they are headed to a trading post. Hopefully they'll find some kind of a home there, and they got no real plan. I mean, they are just some kids.
Yeah.
And they leave our heroes with the knowledge of a shortcut to Namek. Head in the direction of K5162. But if you take the shortcut, don't forget... don't forget what? We'll find out soon enough.
Boom.
We'll find out soon enough. Bulma, Gohan, and Krillin are back on their way to Namek, and Vegeta is landing at Frieza's home base, which is planet... I have it a little bit later in the podcast. It's like Planet Frieza number 92 or something. It's the official name of the planet that it's at. Vegeta is in very bad shape.
Oh, yeah.
He's barely alive, honestly, which is kind of surprising. It seems like he's in way worse shape than Goku is. Considering that fight was so, like, you know, I don't know. It was so, like, head-to-head.
Yeah, it was so head-to-head. I'd say it's because turning into the Great Ape takes so much out of your body. It's got to be something with that, because he definitely kicked Goku's ass more than his ass was kicked.
Agreed.
But, you know, Yajirobe ends it, and then it's got to just be like he's more exhausted, maybe. Maybe.
That would make
demolished.
sense.
I don't know.
I like that. That makes sense. So he's off to the treatment center. Krillin and crew are run into an exploded nebula, and it's just a storm in space, so don't be a wimp. They're getting all flung around. Is the only reason that's in the episode is to distract us that might be the thing that watch out for the...
That I didn't even think of that.
Because there's
Maybe
no reason.
Yeah, otherwise it's completely pointless.
There's no reason. The ship really does get tossed around, and Bulma sleeps through it all, because that's what Bulma do.
Yeah.
That is until Bulma ends up in Krillin's lap. What a perv! That gets him one hell of a slap, that's for sure. Turns out they've already made it to Namek. Are you sure that planet is Namek? Trust me, that's planet Namek. Trust me. Next episode.
And our trip is landing on Namek. It's going to be a rough landing, and Bulma dive bombs the planet.
Just straight down. Just like, I'm dive bombing this bitch.
I'm just going for it. Like, no idea what the gravity's like here. Just fuck it.
We're going for it.
They come to a rest against a tree on a cliff, because why not?
Yep.
You know, why not just go a little lower?
Nope.
Not Bulma.
No.
Are they sure this is planet Namek? Let's check the dragon radar, which also works on planet Namek.
It also tells you what planet you're on and also tells you a whole bunch of stuff. That
Yeah.
Dragon Radar, she should mass produce that thing.
She should, because that's badass. So not only can she hop into a ship that she's foreign to
Right.
and just figure it out,
Yep.
hers automatically adapts to new planets and
She's
languages.
a genius. She's a genius.
It can tell us what planet we're on. That thing can do everything.
It can do absolutely everything.
Damn, Bulma, you outdid yourself. No time for that. The shit plummets off the cliff.
Just see you later.
Of course. Obviously. Bulma, Gohan, and Krillin end up in some very comfy-looking beds, but how did they get there? It must be the Namekians.
That makes sense.
That would make sense.
It must be the Namekian.
Sure enough, it's Rati and Zakro.
Great names.
They saved our pals. They were near death when discovered. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
They seem pretty nice.
Yeah.
They're at least 300 years old, and they grab strangers, and they greet strangers by grabbing their nose.
That's an interesting
Sure.
thing. I don't think Namekians actually do that because I don't recall ever seeing that again in the whole series.
Nope. So that might be foreshadowing something. So everyone joins in on the nose grabbing weirdness, and Rati and Zekro entertain their guests with dinner and magic tricks.
Yeah,
Hey,
I can make
alright.
stuff float with my mind. Why were they really impressed by that? Because I mean, Gohan and Goku and Vegeta and Krillin can all do that too. Roshi
Yeah.
can do it. They can all do it.
Right.
They're like, what? That's amazing.
Maybe they're just being overly nice.
Okay,
and
that's
stuff.
what it is. I like it.
That's
That's
that.
what it is.
Nice earthlings. They know everything that our crew wants, including the Dragon
Oh my
Balls.
God.
Suspicious. And they love a good stogie.
I'll
Who
never,
doesn't?
it'll never get old smoking in children's programming. That'll never get old
Yeah,
for me. I love
definitely
it.
not. But don't worry, they can trust them.
We won't take advantage of you. It seems like something that somebody would say if they were going to take advantage of you.
I'm gonna go with yeah. But hey, where's the spaceship?
Oh.
It's in the storage garage.
Nice.
It's very banged up, but it's in one piece. Rati and Zekro are beginning to be very helpful. Bulma busts out the Dragon Radar again, and there are 3 Dragon Balls in the immediate area.
Lucky.
Oh my gosh, what are the odds? So Bulma tosses a capsule, and bam, they have a car.
Love it.
Love it.
Gotta love Capsule Corp. Gotta love it.
Rati stops them. There are monsters. You have to travel by air. So he busts out his jalopy.
The Wukong.
The Wukong. That thing sucks. It is painfully slow and loud, and they hate it.
They all hate it.
But they are still making progress towards the Dragon Ball, so that's a good thing. It doesn't take long, and they're directly above another Dragon Ball. Wukong, make your descent right now.
I love how it's also voice controlled, just like their ship. It's voice controlled.
Sure.
Everything is voice controlled.
So flash over to Zekro, and he's doing something. Is he fixing the ship,
Oh.
or is he stealing from it?
Huh?
Either way, the music makes me think his intentions are no good.
Yeah, it definitely is playing the mischievous, mysterious music during that scene.
Definitely. Back to our friends searching for the Dragon Balls. They're currently diving into a river and searching for one of the balls. They can all hold their breath forever.
They can.
Like,
They really can.
Extremely long time. And then as soon as you out of breath, you're out, and you
Yeah.
just shoot to the top. No
That's
problem.
Piece of cake.
No, I thought that was really funny. Just weird to see. No, swimsuits. No,
Nothing.
floppers.
Nope.
Nope. They're good. Don't need them.
Don't need them, not one bit.
They're fine. And dynamics can hold their breath a lot longer.
Even longer.
Obviously.
Even longer.
Finally, after Krillin and Gohan search with no success, Rati comes up with the ball. 1 down, 6 to go.
Yeah.
Back to our pal Vegeta, and he's emerging from his medical pod with one thing on his mind. Kakarot.
He is a man of one mind.
Yes.
That is for sure.
It's funny, though, if he would have came out, Yajirobe. Did not see that coming.
Where is that son of a bitch?
That chubby motherfucker. Back to Goku. He is still in bandages.
Yep.
And Chi-Chi is keeping the ever-watchful eye as Goku attempts to train in bed.
And almost punches her in the face.
Why not? It's very Goku, though. It'd almost
It
be
is.
weird if he didn't do that.
That's
so
You're 100% on that one. That's
he
100%
needs
right.
to just lay there and stay quiet.
Good advice, Chi-Chi. Good
advice. But he's not going to do it.
No.
So we're back to Namek in some ancient ruins, and there's another Dragon Ball only 50 meters away.
That's it. They're right there.
It's down some ominous stairs, and Rady leads the way into the darkness, and there's drawings all over the wall.
Uh-huh.
And they don't look like Namekians, but
No.
we're going to say they're Namekian ancestors.
Yeah.
Even though they look nothing like Rady and Zakro.
Nope, they don't.
But sure. Further down in the ruins, and they find the Dragon Ball and the skull of some dead guy.
Yep, that's it. Bulma just was scared, and that was it. That was easy.
Bulma no likey. Off to the next Dragon Ball, and there they are. This has been pretty easy so far.
Very, very easy.
This Dragon Ball is just in a tree.
Yep, it's just hanging out in a tree. Oh, there it is.
That's like where it got launched from the initial launch.
Yep.
Just landed in the tree. Like, okay. And they dislodged it when it landed, and now a dinosaur has it.
Great.
Sure. At least it got a little more difficult.
Yeah, there you go.
And said Dino eats the Dragon Ball and then runs away.
He's like, yummy, yummy. I'm gonna
Yummy.
eat this rock, basically.
Only 6 more. And Krillin and Gohan and Bulma offer chase, but Rady stops them. It's too dangerous to go in the forest on foot.
Why is that? Why? There's monsters, obviously.
Yeah,
Right?
obviously, but Bulma, she's on to Rady.
Yeah.
And something funny is going on here, and she's gonna figure it out because she's the smart one.
I'm the smart one.
There's a weird roar in the forest. Something happened to the dino.
Yeah.
That's not good. Swamp melted it down to the bones.
Like instantly.
Like, yikes. Like, the flames of Mordor. Like, she's bye-bye. Probably shouldn't have gone in there.
No, it probably should not have.
So maybe Rady's telling the truth.
Yeah, there you go.
It is a little
There
too
you go.
dangerous in there. How are they going to get the Dragon Ball from the swamp? They would have a suit, but the swamp would melt it in 20 seconds. So Gohan volunteers.
He's like, I'll do it.
I'll do it. They're going to tie a rope to him and put him down there, put him out before 20 seconds.
Easy. And they're gonna
Sure.
Easy.
That should be no problem. Just blast him with energy, remember, from the ship? Like, no problem. Put him out.
No problem.
With the ball directly below them, Gohan dives in. He spots the ball, but the rope melts.
And Ratty's like, ooh, I didn't think about the rope melting. My
Yeah.
bad, guys.
Gohan has the ball at the bottom of the swamp. He has to swim his way out.
Yeah.
And with time running out, he sends an energy blast and sends himself flying out of the swamp. And they have it.
That's it. 3 of
3
7.
out of 7,
3 of
baby.
7.
Next episode.
So we're back with Vegeta on Planet Frieza number 79.
There it is.
There it is.
79.
He's still in the healing chamber. It's time for Vegeta to exit that chamber finally. So is this like a direct continuation of the last scene where they're like, hey, he's going to come out of there? So it's a direct continuation.
Pretty much.
Kakarot. He still only has one thing on his mind, that's for sure. On Earth now, and Goku is trying to escape the hospital. He managed to fall down some stairs in the process, which probably can't feel good if you're that damaged. Chi-Chi, she's just sleeping upstairs. Back on Namek, and on Namek, quotation marks, air quotes, Namek. And the search continues for the 4 remaining Dragon Balls. This time, Zakro is along for the journey instead of Ratty. They have the Dragon Ball on the radar. It's moving pretty fast. Get this, it's in a tornado!
Oh, what?
So why don't they just wait for the tornado to disappear?
That's no good.
Tornadoes can last for ages on Namek.
Ooh.
It's very convenient. That leaves only one option. Are you ready to go head to head with a tornado?
Yep.
I love there's a couple of times in these episodes where Gohan's just like, yup.
Yep.
Yup. But they can't blast it because that would destroy the Dragon Ball. So what can they do? Gohan just flies in a tornado and grabs it. That's it.
Sure.
That's it.
No
Just
problem.
fly in there. And then he blasts the tornado, destroying it. They got the ball. Only 3 to go at this point.
Only 3 more to go.
Man, I wish it was this easy to find him on Earth.
Yeah. And are we under the impression that the Earth Dragon Balls are super easily destroyed too?
I
Like,
don't recall that being a theme.
I don't even remember that being a thing.
No.
I don't see why these are so fragile, but
Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows? Back over to Goku. He escaped the hospital and directly went to a cliff to keep training. They love their cliffs. Go to a cliff.
Go to a cliff.
But he's not quite ready. He hasn't healed completely. He's flying, and he like has those little lightning bolts and kind of falls out of the sky a little bit. He's like, ugh, it's still very injured. Back on Namek, and our crew is on the hunt for the next Dragon Ball. As they enter a forest, Krillin makes a torch, and they hear a cry.
That was not comforting.
No, definitely not. Deeper into the forest they go. Krillin, he drops the torch, and it turns out the forest was just a bunch of giant birds.
Sure.
Great. I really like the idea of them walking into a forest, walking onto a bunch of giant birds thinking it's a forest.
Yeah.
I think that's funny. I think that's cool. It's like kind of takes you by surprise. I didn't necessarily remember that that's where this was going, and on my first watch through of this when I was doing my homework. But they are now airborne, and they're being attacked by the other birds. They see a castle. Look, it's a castle. More giant bird attacks, and they dodge them all. So what do you think we do now? We have to jump. But that's crazy. They all jump. And Krillin and Gohan ensure the safe landing of Bulma and Zakro. It should not even have been like a thing. Krillin and Gohan can fly.
Yeah. Do we forget that? Is it still at the point where it's such a waste of energy? I don't understand.
Just grab them and fly away,
just
guys.
Just a little quick fly.
Just grab them and fly away.
What's happening?
So back to Goku. He's still training, screaming at some rocks. He's taking his best Piccolo training advice, screaming at some rocks. But it works a little bit too well, and he falls off the cliff. Oh, see you later. And has a Vegeta flashback halfway down the cliff. I'll stare into your eyes and crush you. Goku ends up hitting the ground, and he is down and out. So back to the castle. And there is a sleeping giant.
Yeah.
Sure, so don't wake up the sleeping giant, as the saying goes, right? They search for the Dragon Ball everywhere, and they have the Dragon Radar, and this is a very large building. You'd think that they'd be able to get fairly close to the Dragon Ball by using the radar. But instead, they're going to just mindlessly search everywhere, being loud and potentially waking up a giant.
This thing does everything an episode ago, and now it's like, let's just try to be quiet.
They do find that Dragon Ball, and it's in the giant's earring. This guy is a sound sleeper. They should have had very little. What is it? They should have had very little. Moving on. I can't think of the word, but I'm like, this guy is a sound sleeper, especially since Bulma is screaming in his face. Hey, where's the Dragon Ball at? What is with that snake?
I do not know.
I don't know either. Maybe it has something to do with some like mythological tale of a stone giant? I was trying to make some sense of it in my brain, but I have no idea why that snake is there. Is the snake actually the giant, and like is controlling the giant? Is it that's that what it is? Email us. Email us. They all line up and tug on that earring over and over and over until it finally comes loose. That wakes up the giant.
That wakes him up.
Finally.
Yeah.
And he is pissed. Back on Earth, Chi-Chi, Ox King, and Roshi figure out that Goku is missing. Took them a very long time to figure that out.
Yes, it did.
Back to Bulma and friends, and they are in the toy plane that was on the shelf. How did they get there? They did. They did.
That's how.
The world may never know. Gohan and Krillin, it's time for them to fight the giant. Krillin's Destructo Disc. Gohan's Mensenko. They do very little to the giant besides just like take away bits of stone. This is when it's revealed that he's made of stone as opposed to a flesh and blood giant.
Yeah.
Do very little. After a lot of struggling, they manage to get the biplane fired up by smacking the dash. That's a very Bulma thing to do. Just punch it and it works. Just in the nick of time, too, Bulma swoops in and nabs Krillin and Gohan out of the air in a biplane.
Yeah.
She did it. She is a very good pilot, so I guess that's not beyond her skill scope.
Some maverick shit right there.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Man. Oh, that'd be a good extra credit. So with the Krillin and Gohan and what's the other guy's name? No, not Ox King.
No.
Krillin, Gohan,
Zekro and Reiti.
Zekro and Bulma all in the plane. They end up leaving the castle, and as they leave, Krillin notices that there is more than one castle. So what's up with that? Something is a little fishy, that's for sure. Back on Earth, and Goku continues to train. Flash over to Frieza's Planet 79, and Vegeta finally emerges from the healing pod. He looks pretty damn strong after getting out of that healing pod. Stronger than ever, one would say, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, if you go by the logic of a Saiyan, he is stronger than he's ever been.
He's way stronger.
Way stronger than he's ever been. You are fully healed now. You can open your eyes. Except for the tail. He doesn't need it, though. He doesn't need it. I was watching this with subtitles on, and the subtitles are like the direct translation on the DVD and not what the English lines are.
Sure.
And in the direct translation, he says, "Don't worry, it will grow back." It never grows back. Does it ever grow back?
No.
I don't think Vegeta ever has a tail again.
I don't think so.
Gohan's tail is the only one that ever grew back.
Yeah.
So by that logic, Goku's tail probably should have grown back at some point.
Yeah.
But don't worry, it'll grow back. It never grows back, Vegeta.
Somehow half-blooded Saiyans grow back.
There you go. Maybe that's the key.
Yeah.
I don't know. Vegeta wouldn't like to hear that because he is the Prince of all Saiyans.
I don't need it.
He does not need it. Next episode.
So we join our friends at one of the last two Dragon Balls, and it's encased in ice.
How'd it get there? Who
How
knows?
did it get there?
It's encased in ice.
So Krillin and Gohan are melting the ice, obviously, and they have to do it carefully as to not collapse the ice chamber they are in. And Zekro is missing.
Huh? Where'd he go?
No worries, Krillin grabbed the ball, but because of the celebrating and finding the sixth ball, the chamber collapses and Bulma, Krillin, and Gohan are in for a wild ride.
Did you like how long Krillin was fishing around in there to get the ball out?
Yeah.
He's like, he's just fishing around in there forever. Finally got it out of there. Kind of looked like it was sitting right there on the surface, but maybe if he actually looked at what he was grabbing instead of turning his head and reaching it, I don't know.
I would think that would help.
Might help.
But who do we see laughing maniacally? Two shadowy figures. It's almost as if they are controlling what is happening to our trio.
What?
That is a matter of fact what they are doing. Bulma, Krillin, and Gohan ride the ice sled as a giant snowball is sent upon them.
I really like the action in this scene. It's very fun. It's really
yeah.
cool action. It makes up for the lack of fighting action.
Right.
Just a good, Indiana Jones-esque action sequence. Is very fun. I like it.
But first, smash cut. Let's see what Vegeta's doing. He's getting dressed and getting made fun of by some punk ass who's not as strong as him.
You must have taken quite a beating.
If you have any ideas of revenge, I might not be here to put you back together again.
Okay.
Sure. I'm sure Vegeta's real worried about you. But Vegeta is one-minded. Where's Frieza? He's not there. Kwai might know, so let's find Kui.
Let's find him.
It's worth noting that Vegeta leaves his scour behind because he has no use for it.
I have no use for it. Until he does.
But as of right now, he's so badass, he doesn't need it. So back to a training Goku. He's fighting giant pyramid-shaped rocks.
Great.
Turns out that he might have overdone it a little after that one, as per usual, and that really put him down.
It really did.
Goku is down and out.
Yes. I mean, he flew directly into a giant rock and made it explode.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Back with our friends on the ice sled and giant snowball rolling after them, and Krillin has an idea.
I hope you're not thinking what I think you're thinking.
He is, Gohan. He is. Gohan and Krillin blast the ceiling of the cave, causing all the stalactites to fall. And does that stop the snowball? No, it does not.
No, it does not.
It just adds spikes, which is hilarious.
It is hilarious. I laughed out loud every time. I'm like, that is so funny that it just added spikes to it. That's very funny.
Love it. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Ah.
One problem, it's on the side of a cliff. Which is nothing new to our parties.
Nope, not one bit.
Good thing Krillin and Gohan can fly, as long as they remember.
Yep.
Back on solid ground with 6 of the 7 Dragon Balls. Damn, this has been an easy search.
Super easy.
Krillin begins to notice that the surroundings feel very similar to where they have been before. They are back where the dinosaur was.
What?
And our mysterious figures tell us that it's time.
They're like, it's time.
Time for what?
We still don't know.
We still don't know. They forge ahead. The last Dragon Ball is somewhere at a nearby lake in a stone building out on the water. Gohan heads to the stone building to retrieve the last Dragon Ball, but he's held captive by an invisible force.
What? No!
Of course, Bulma is only concerned with getting her beauty sleep, and finally, Bulma and Krillin notice Gohan's predicament, and Reti and Zekro show up and grab Bulma. What is going on?
What is going on?
No matter. But back on Earth, and Roshi and Chi-Chi find and retrieve Goku. He's just laying on the ground like a bum.
He's just laying there.
What's he doing out there? What he always does, taking on too much too soon.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody knows, it would be Roshi.
Definitely. Back to Vegeta, and he finds Kui, and Kui starts ripping on him. Word is you couldn't even beat a third-class Saiyan, and Frieza's pissed. He's gone to Namek, and that's a problem. Vegeta wants the Dragon Balls, and Frieza is got a head start on him.
He does.
And, he's faster, stronger, a little more evil than Vegeta, so definitely don't want him to get that wish in before Vegeta.
No.
So Vegeta grabs that scouter and dips. Like, okay, I guess I could use the scouter. All right, Frieza, I'm coming for you.
I'm surprised he didn't throw in a Kakarot.
Kakarot. Back on Namek. Playtime is over, and it's time to get down to business. Turns out that Reti and Zekro aren't who they say they were. They actually matched those hieroglyphics from the cave.
Oh.
Oh, my God, shocking. Turns out they read minds. They read the minds of our friends, and they have been using the planet they are on to trick them to steal their ship and escape the planet. Because the planet really sucks. Everything was an illusion, including the Dragon Balls. They're just rocks. That's why it was so easy to find all these things.
So let me ask you this. Why would they create those hieroglyphics in the cave of themselves? Were they just like bored one day? Like, I'm going to just draw some pictures of us, okay?
Why? When's that ever going to be useful? Oh, sometime maybe.
Maybe.
And then they took him down there like, I told you it worked. Totally believable. So Gohan is trapped by a man eating...
Not a lie.
Not a lie. And so is Krillin. And Vegeta is searching for Frieza. And Goku is back in the hospital.
They're all checked in.
Next episode.
So everybody's still stuck on that terrible planet. Things are looking bad for our crew. Krillin and Gohan still imprisoned by the Nautilai. And Bulma gets a bit of an explanation from our friends. Rati and Zekro, they tell us that this planet is the armpit of the universe. There are no cities, no people. They have no ship. They crash landed as well. They want to steal Bulma's ship. They captured our crew and read their minds, discovering the Dragon Balls on Namek, and they want them for themselves. Everybody wants those motherfucking Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't want them? I want them. I would take some Dragon Balls.
Me too.
Just give me some Dragon Balls. Give me some Dragon Balls. Soon, an opening will happen that will allow them to leave, trapping Krillin, Gohan, and Bulma on the planet. So what can Bulma possibly do? Follow them to the ship. But they can't open the ship, so she might as well follow them there.
Yeah.
That's all she can do. They don't know the password, but Bulma does. All the while, Gohan and Krillin are inching closer to death. Krillin is pulled underwater by the Nautilai. What a name. So it's the plural of Nautilus?
Yeah.
Nautilai.
Nautilai.
Nautilai. I just love that word for some reason. And Gohan dives in on his own volition. The creatures start to loosen their grips a little bit. Kind of surprising considering they live in the lake.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So Gohan just starts blasting. So anyways, I started blasting. Krillin and Gohan create a giant whirlpool, defeating the Nautilai. I love that scene. I think that was really cool. Like the beams of energy creating a gigantic whirlpool in that lake. I thought that was really cool. Back with Rati and Zekro, they still can't get into the ship, so they're going to go back to find Bulma. Good news. She's already there.
Yeah.
They force her to open the door. Bulma, she wants to make a deal of some kind, but faced with a 50-year journey back to Zekro and Rati's planet, she decides that it's a no-go, and she has no choice but to open the ship. Why not just say, I'm not going to open the ship?
Yeah.
I don't know. That she's like, okay, I guess I'm going to open the ship for you guys. Just open up the ship. All right. Just as Ratty and Zakro are going to ascend into the ship, Krillin and Gohan show up, and they go, Piccolo! And then that platform comes back down. They stop Ratty and Zakro from entering the ship. So that means the fight is on.
Yep.
Show me what you got. Krillin and Gohan have more than they can handle. They were defeated very easily. They do say that they weren't much for fighting. Their species isn't much of a fighting species, and that is an understatement. That is for sure. With the window to leave the planet fast approaching, Bulma and gang hightail it out of there, leaving Ratty and Zekro behind. And they blast into space. We made it! On to Planet Namek, the real one this time.
Yeah.
Back to Vegeta. He's stewing in his pod.
Kakarot.
Kakarot. No one will stand in his way after he gets the Dragon Balls. Goku, still in the hospital, still trying to escape, and not succeeding. When in actuality, he could probably just muscle his way out of there very easily, but he's too good of a guy. He's not going to hurt some innocent bystanders. That's for sure. Back in space, and Bulma, Gohan, and Krillin have made it to the real Namek already. That's amazing. So strap in and hope for the best. After all, we are entering an atmosphere. They land perfectly.
She learned her lesson.
She learned her lesson, and Bulma busts out her atmospheric sensor. Gotta see if you can breathe the air out there. Gohan and Krillin, they just head outside. It's no big deal. Big deal. The surface of Namek is similar to Earth, but it's very quiet. The Dragon Radar finds a few Dragon Balls nearby. Man, they are good at landing. There's always a couple of them just laying around. But just then, Gohan senses something near and strong. It's probably the other Namekians. Piccolo is strong, so the other Namekians should be too, right?
Right.
And, that is kind of true.
Yeah.
They are better than the average fighter across the universe as a Namekian. So let's go find some locals and get them Dragon Balls. Enter Vegeta space pod streaking across the sky.
Yeah.
It crash lands. So what do? Bulma has to go back to Earth to get Goku, right? It's going to take 2 months, though. That's a problem.
2 short months.
60 days. That's
60 short days.
Vegeta, he's out of his pod, and it's time for him to remove all the obstacles in his way. The Dragon Balls must be his. He uses the scouter to locate Frieza. I'm coming for you, Frieza. I hope you're ready. Bulma, she calls Roshi on her space phone. Could have used that maybe when they were on the other planet. Maybe call some people up and say, hey, I need some help.
Yeah.
That's okay. She lets him know what's going on, but he's got to tell Goku, but don't tell Chi-Chi because she's going to freak out because they're all worried about talking to Chi-Chi because she's going to freak out about everything every time.
Yep.
Come on, Chi-Chi. She should be right there with them on the front lines. She could probably kick some real ass.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure she could. There's a second pod crash landing, and it's Kui. So over to Frieza, and they are killing the locals. Just straight up murdering the locals. That's it. And gaining Dragon Balls. They have 4 already. Can you believe it? 4 of them already.
4 already. Somehow they landed in the perfect spot on this entire planet. Sure. So with the second pod landing, things look hopeless. Today isn't starting out too well. Back over to Frieza. He has 4 of the 7 Dragon Balls. And he knows that Vegeta wants them. It's confirmed that Kui has arrived and he's tracking Vegeta. They're also aware that 2 small power levels are out there that seem to disappear. Some scouts were sent. They're confident in Kui's ability to handle Vegeta, and they don't think that they will have to see that monkey-tailed abomination again.
Man, that is racially charged.
Yikes. Yikes. Kui and Vegeta have a showdown. I see you've been following me, Kui. You think you can kill me? Kui is confident that he can. Look at my power levels. It's much higher than yours. Back with Bulma, and she's going to stick to the original plan of leaving and going back to Earth and bringing back Goku.
It's almost like she doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, I wonder why. Hold on, Bulma. Give us a second. Why don't Gohan and Krillin go with too?
Hey, there you go. Even Krillin's like, maybe we should leave too.
Yeah, why the hell are you leaving me here with Goku's kid? Like, what the hell? It might be best for them to cut their losses. Chi-Chi would kill Krillin if something would happen to Gohan. So if they leave, they are handing the Dragon Balls over to Frieza.
I mean, that makes sense. It also goes to show that Chi-Chi's a lot stronger than people really let her believe, because Krillin's afraid of being killed by Chi-Chi.
Right. This isn't just verbal abuse.
No.
Like, they are worried for their lives.
I mean, Krillin does die easily, but still.
But still. Chi-Chi is a badass.
Chi-Chi is a badass.
So they really can't leave, can
Nope,
they?
they cannot.
So no time to make a decision. The scout team just showed up.
Uh-oh.
They're definitely not Namekians.
No, they are not.
They're on a shoot first, ask questions later kind of order situation.
Yes, they are.
As they land, the scout team is confident that Krillin and Gohan don't stand a chance. But first, the ship. They destroy the ship.
So the gun that one of those scout guys have, is that just like amplifying his energy blast? Or do you
I
think
don't
it's
think
like,
so.
It's like a gun.
I've always thought of it as a gun.
Okay.
Like these are the peon infantry type
Right.
people. But
And I'm also kind of sad that after this saga, like everybody wearing like Saiyan armor kind of goes away. And
Yeah.
I love the way the Saiyan armor looks on all the different alien species.
definitely.
There should be more Saiyan armor out there in the series. Everybody should be wearing Saiyan armor.
Saiyan armor for everybody.
Yeah, I'm going to get some Saiyan armor.
Yeah. But after they destroy a ship, that is the last straw. Time for Gohan and Krillin to power up. Looks like the little one is having stomach cramps. Hold on, their power level is skyrocketing. Gohan and Krillin handle the scout team easily.
Yes, easily.
Vegeta gets word that something is going on with the scout team. They stop transmitting at the same time.
Uh-oh.
Whoever is responsible was able to suppress their power levels. Their power levels peaked at 1,500. Only 1,500? That doesn't worry me, nor should it you. Frieza wants to move on and get the remaining Dragon Balls, then deal with this nuisance when they destroy the planet. Why not? Just deal with it when we destroy the planet. Back in the hospital, Goku, and he's still trying to train by mind-controlling water.
Yep. All right.
Alrighty, that is definitely some Piccolo shit there. It ends up going all over his face when he's interrupted by Chi-Chi. And Chi-Chi is worried about Gohan, blah, blah, blah.
Sorry, Chi-Chi.
And back on Namek, and Krillin wants the crew to find some Namekians to help prepare the ship. And Piccolo taught Gohan to never panic. But Bulma is panicking.
Bulma is panicking, that is for sure.
No one taught her. Over to Kui versus Vegeta. Finally, a bit of a prolonged fight.
Yep.
Vegeta is through taking orders, and Kui warns Vegeta that he is going to pay with his life. But not today.
Not today.
Because Vegeta powers up, stunning Kui. Vegeta has suppressed his power level to this point, and now is up over 22,000.
Remember how like a big of a deal 9,000 was?
Yeah.
Like this. Obviously, the Scouters become completely, like, they are already, even Vegeta acknowledges the fact that the Scouters are irrelevant.
Basically.
They're basically irrelevant.
But it is cool that they're still so heavily used through this saga.
It's
'Cause
another...
It kind of gets you, like, the glimpse of how fast their power levels keep rising.
I wish that I love the way those Scouters look,
Yeah.
especially Vegeta's pink one for some reason.
Yeah.
I just love the way it looks. It would have been nice if they could have worked the Scouters in throughout the series a little bit more. Like maybe giving Scouters to some of the lesser fighters on the Z team, just so that they have a little bit more of an advantage.
You would think Bulma would make her own version of it or something and give the Yamchas and Chaozus of the world.
Yajirobe, like
even like people at Roshi's house to be aware of the threat levels coming.
That makes those that cannot sense power levels. That would make a lot of sense.
Oolong and Puar and Turtle.
I like it. Turtle with a green Scouter,
dude.
I'm down for that.
Huge missed opportunity.
Huge.
So after Vegeta's power up, he shorted out the Scouters on Zarbon's face, and then Dodoria confirms the reading. It has in fact gone up to 24,000, and they all can't believe it.
They can't. They're seriously. They're like, what? What?
Vegeta is stronger than all of them, except for Frieza.
Duh.
It's insignificant against the power of Frieza, so Frieza don't give a shit.
No, he hasn't even transformed.
No.
He hasn't even transformed one transformation yet.
Yeah. Vegeta needs the Dragon Balls to defeat him, so he needs to stall more time. So it's back to Kui and Vegeta, and Kui is trying to make a bargain. I'll join you. Stop blathering like a fool, Kui. Your cowardice makes me sick. Hey, look, it's Frieza. And Kui sneak attack on Vegeta. It did not work.
No.
How did Vegeta escape that? Kui is on the run, and Vegeta gives chase, and then blows Kui out of the sky. See you in hell, Kui.
What a line. That's such a great line from Vegeta. I love that. See you in hell, Kui.
Love it.
Like, Vegeta's okay. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go to hell. I don't care. I'll see you there, bitch.
I will for sure be there. I'll be kicking your ass a second time. Frieza gets word of Kui's death, and Frieza doesn't care.
Frieza don't care.
Why the hell would he? He's going to destroy the whole planet as soon as he gets the Dragon Balls. And Vegeta narrows his quest. All he needs is one Dragon Ball to make it, so Frieza can't make the wish. That's some smart thinking.
Very smart thinking.
That is some smart thinking. Frieza heads to find the 5th Dragon Ball, and Vegeta follows. And back with Gohan and friends, and they're trudging through Namekian wilderness looking for shelter. They find a cave. As they approach the cave, both Krillin and Gohan sense something coming with the very high power level. Who could it be? Roll credits!
Oh, man, that was great. That was great. What did you think of those first 6 episodes, Trav?
I love it. I mean, like I said, Namek setting in general is super nostalgia for me. We got like 2.5 or 3 seasons of being on Namek.
Yeah,
so
which is amazing.
Get used to it.
Ginyu Force coming up, all of that stuff. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So yeah, I love it. I like the beginning nonsense. I'm all for the non-super action-packed stuff. Why is Bulma in her underwear for 2 episodes straight? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
But it is hilarious watching it.
Spoiler alert, I couldn't remember who's actually coming. Is it Dende?
Is Dende coming?
Is who's coming to the cave? Spoiler alert.
It is not. Is it Dende?
Or is it? Is it? Who was Piccolo's
Nail?
Nail. Is it Nail?
I think it might be Nail.
Okay. Never mind. If you turn your radio down, you can turn it back up now.
You can turn it back up.
I definitely really like these episodes as well. Dragon Ball Z really is hitting its stride with this saga. The Saiyan saga is great. It sets the groundwork for the rest of the series through 2025. You know, I mean, without that first Saiyan saga, there's no other Dragon Ball Z or no other Dragon Ball in general. But it's really like hitting its stride for what you expect out of Dragon Ball.
Definitely.
Which I really, really like. It's definitely very good, and I can't wait to get to more of the Dragon Ball.
You get a grip of like how much more threats there are out there than just the Saiyans.
It's a big universe. It's
like
a very
Frieza
big universe.
is not worried at all about Vegeta at this point.
No,
and
not
as a
one bit.
new watcher, you don't even know that Frieza's in his first of 4 forms.
Right.
So,
yeah.
no
Which
big
is
deal.
crazy that it's the first of 4 forms. I mean, he only goes through 3 in this saga, right? Yes. Yes, because he doesn't go to Golden Frieza for a long time.
Yeah. Well, he goes 1 where he's bigger, 2 he looks different, 3 he goes to small, and then he goes 100%.
Yeah.
And then we got in Super Gold, and then Black is coming.
Oh, Black is coming. I can't wait to see that. I do. Vegeta's story arc is one of the biggest redemption story arcs in the history of
For sure.
anything.
Super cool.
It's the best thing. I love it. I love everything about it. I can't wait. Honestly, these episodes really make me want to watch a ton more Dragon Ball Z. And
Definitely.
I love everything about it, and I can't wait to do that on my own for fun.
Luckily, sequel summer will have us doing plenty of Dragon Ball Z.
All right, Trav, with that out of the way, why don't we transition over to that homework assignment?
Let's do it.
So we are doing D2, The Mighty Ducks 2. From 1994, directed by Sam Weisman, written by Stephen Brill, based on characters by Stephen Brill, produced by John Abbott and Jordan Kerner, starring Emilio Estevez as Coach Gordon Bombay, Brock Pierce as Young Gordon, Michael Tucker as Don Tibbles, Jan Rubes as Jan, Catherine Erb as Michelle McKay, Joshua Jackson as Charlie Conway, Eldon Ryan Ratliff as Fulton Reed, Sean Weiss as Greg Goldberg, Matt Doherty as Lester Averman, Brandon Adams as Jesse Hall, Vincent A. LaRusso as Adam Banks, Marguerite Moreau as Connie Moreau, Garrett Radcliffe Henson as Guy Germain. Did you know that Guy Germain and Fulton Reed are brothers?
I did not know that.
I learned that recently, and I don't know how that didn't come up in our first Mighty Ducks episode that we did, but they are brothers. And the reason why Fulton has black hair is because they dyed it so that they look different.
Okay.
Because they look very similar when you see them side by side.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
They are definitely brothers. Aaron Lohr as Dean Portman, Ty O'Neill as Dwayne Robertson, Kenan Thompson, I'm a giant Kenan Thompson fan, as Russ Tyler, Mike Vitar as Louis Mendoza, Colombe Jacobson as Julie the Cat Gaffney, Justin Wong as Ken Wu, Karsten Norgard as Coach Wolf, the dentist Stanson. What a name. Maria Ellingson as Maria.
All right.
Scott White as Gunnar Stahl. Visolos Rayon Shannon as James Tyler Russ's older brother. Robert Paul as Gordon's father. Bob Miller as the announcer. Cinematography by Mark Irwin. It was edited by John F. Link and Eric Sears. Music by J.A.C. Redford. I bet that guy's a badass. He's got 3 names that are just abbreviations.
Yeah.
My name's J.A.C. Redford. That guy's probably a huge badass. Production companies, Walt Disney Pictures and Avett Kerner Productions. Produced by Buena Vista Pictures Distribution. It was released March 25th, 1994. It had a box office of $45.6 million, and that is $98.7 in 2025. So not a $100 million movie, but that's okay. It's pretty close. It is a kid's movie, so it did pretty dang good.
Yeah.
All right, Trav, why don't you hit me with that outro? Oh, before we do that, I do need to get some mad props to Man Bear Pig's wife. She was the one that was like, why haven't they done D2 yet? When I talked to Man Bear Pig, and I'm like, you know what? That's a really good suggestion there, Man Bear Pig. What did we decide on what her name was? Lady Bear Pig? What was it? Man Bear Pig's wife was... We said something in one of the other episodes. I wish I could remember what it was. Anyways, Trav. Hit me with that outro.
Here it is. So we got a couple good ones today. One first question is, was your childhood favorite Little Debbie or Hostess snack still the favorite as an adult?
I'd say so. If I'm going to choose one of those snacks, it's Ho-Ho's all day.
Ho-Ho's.
Ho-Ho's all day. Maybe the cupcakes, Little Debbie cupcakes.
Yep.
You know, with the squiggly line, frosting on top.
Yep.
I think those are probably my 2 favorites. If I'm going to choose one of those, although I am a sucker for some donuts. I love those waxy chocolate. I love that waxy chocolate.
It don't get no better.
It doesn't taste good, but it tastes so good.
It's good. Dunk that baby in some milk.
Yeah.
Ooh, soak it up. But yeah, see, my childhood favorite and still favorite is Little Debbie Swiss rolls.
Ooh, so
not to be confused with the Ho-Ho's.
It's like the same thing, though,
right?
right?
I don't like the Ho-Ho's.
What's the difference?
They taste different.
Well, what's the difference? Aren't they still chocolate-covered Swiss rolls?
It's still the same thing in theory, but I don't know. I don't like the Hostess one.
Interesting.
I don't like the Hostess
Ho-Ho's were the ones that were the ones that would be at my house growing up.
Sure.
The best part was taking your teeth and scraping the chocolate off of the piece of cardboard that they rested on.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you like peel all the chocolate on the outside and then just eat the cake.
Yep, that's what I would do.
For sure.
A lot of the times. Love that. Love it.
Next one is, how often did you check your blood pressure as a kid, and do you ever still do it now as an adult?
I did it far too often at the Country Drug that we used to go to. Country Drug! Do you remember the Country Drug downtown?
No.
It was the Walgreens that was downtown, but it's
okay.
now closed. It was a Country Drug forever. It's Country Drug.
Country Drug.
Gotta go over to the Country Drug. And I would go straight over there and put my arm in that thing and take my blood pressure.
All the time.
Check your blood pressure and check it often.
Why? Just 'cause. But I don't ever do it now.
No, never.
Why
never.
would you?
I don't want to know now.
I definitely think of the Beavis and Butthead episode where they like unplug it after it's all filled in.
His arm gets stuck
His
in
arm
there.
gets stuck in there, and then they're gonna go like get a chainsaw or a saw to cut it out.
But wasn't Butthead gonna cut Beavis's arm off?
I think
Isn't that
so.
what it was? Yeah. Okay.
Last one is just a question for you. When you were a kid, were you a water balloon fight or a water gun fight?
A little bit of both, but mostly it was water guns.
Yep.
Once the Super Soaker hit the scene, it was a game changer.
Game changer.
But if you had a giant bag of the grenade water balloons, that was, fun for hours.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
maybe fun for it was fun for hours because it would take you 2 hours to fill them up.
Yeah.
Standing at the spigot outside, trying to get that thing over the top, filling it up, filling it too far, and then they'd hit the ground
Right.
and spray water everywhere, or the neck of it would bust when you're trying to put it around the spigot, whatever. But yeah, once you had them filled and tied off, it was like 15 minutes of fun.
I was going to say, hour of preparation for 10 minutes of fun, and then you got to clean all the
Yeah.
damn balloons up.
And then my mom would come outside and be like, "You got to clean all that up."
I'm like,
okay,
what?
okay.
Yeah,
But
definitely,
yes.
definitely both. But I'm saying definitely a water gun,
Yes.
lenient for
Yes.
sure. Did you have one of the awesome Super Soakers?
I had a Super Soaker 200,
All
which
right.
was super sweet. It was the blue one with the two things on top.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was the blue one, and it had I'll never forget. It had this the seam of the plastic. That, because it's the two halves of the plastic that they would put together in the factory. So there's
Yep.
a seam running down the middle of it, would rest on your thumb when you're holding the thing, and it would just tear the absolute shit out of your thumb because your hands would be wet, and then you're done playing squirt guns, and you just have this bloody wound on the back of your hand. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, son of a bitch. Worth it every time, though.
Yeah.
Worth it every time.
I still remember an epic one where my grandma got my oldest cousin the Super Soaker that was the big green solo tank, but you push it down into the hose
I
and it
wanted
fills
that.
it up.
Oh,
I
I
wanted it
that.
so bad. The range on that thing was
Yeah.
ridiculous. And then I was so jealous of that when my grandma took me and my younger cousin out, she got him just your run-of-the-mill regular water gun, and I was like, no, I need an epic one like his. So I made her buy me the 5 nozzle one where you
Whoa.
could shoot 1 or 3 or 5,
Whoa.
which was cool, but heavy as shit
I bet.
as a kid, and the range was non-existent. So my younger cousin's just blasting me from 20 feet away, and I can't even reach him. And all because I was so jealous of that green one where you could charge it up with the hose.
Oh, that's badass.
But it was still a cool gun. It'd be cool now that I'm not a weakling. But definitely as a kid, that sucked carrying that
I
heavy
bet.
ass thing
I
around to have to be within 5 feet to hit somebody. But yeah, that's going to wrap up emails today. So make sure if you're not already following us on Instagram and Facebook at Overdue Homework Podcast. Email us at podcast@overduehomework.com. And as always, make sure you tune in to the next exciting episode of the Overdue Homework Podcast.